Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. Our first update, it addresses the question as to whether a High Court can, while dismissing the anticipatory bail application of an accused, grant him or her protection from arrest. The top court in this respect has, in the case of Nathu Singh v. State of UP, ruled that high courts cannot reject anticipatory bail plea of an accused and at the same time grant them protection from arrest for a specified period, barring certain extraordinary circumstance. Now let's understand the phrase extraordinary circumstance. Let's say the accused person is the sole caretaker of his family. The High Court can consider the circumstance and grant him or her protection from arrest for a specified period in which the person concerned can make alternative arrangements so that his or her family can be taken care of in the event of their arrest. Now the top court was dealing with this matter while it was dealing with two orders of the Allahabad High Court, wherein the High Court on the one hand rejected anticipatory bail of the accused, and on the other hand, interestingly, it granted a period of 90 days to the accused to surrender before the trial court. Now the Supreme Court set aside these two orders and the court stated, and I quote, "The grant or rejection of an application under CRPC, it has a direct bearing on the right to life and liberty of an individual." Unquote. The bench further stated that the provisions needs to be read liberally and considering its beneficial nature, the courts must not read in restrictions that the legislatures have not explicitly provided for. Any ambiguity in the language must be resolved in favor of the applicant which is seeking relief. Unquote. The provision which is referred to here by the court is section 438 of the CRPC, which deals with anticipatory bail. The Apex Court has adjourned the hearing of a plea seeking directions to the Centre, the CBSE and the Council for Indian School Certificate Examination to cancel the CBSE and the ICSE Class 12 board exams till 31st May. Observing that while it did not approve the Dharna staged by West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the Law Minister against the CBI arresting 4 West Bengal leaders in the Nardha bribery case, the top court on Tuesday said that the accused and their personal liberty should not suffer either on account of such protests. The Supreme Court on Monday, while observing that some of the tribunals are in pathetic condition and they are not able to discharge their functions properly owing to a large number of vacancies, has asked the centre to take immediate steps for fresh appointments. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and have a look at the Delhi High Court this week. A public interest litigation has been moved before the Delhi High Court seeking direction to the Delhi government and to municipal corporations to immediately repair and rectify the non-functioning electronic crematorium and also to provide for more such installations. The court has directed the Delhi government to treat as a representation a PIL which is alleging that the quarantine center at Sultanpuri for COVID-19 patients is unhygienic and it lacks medical professionals to monitor the patients. The court ordered the state to take immediate action on the concerns raised in the plea. A plea has been filed in the High Court against Twitter for alleged non-compliance with the Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code rules of 2021. The court in a matter has stated that a large number of insured patients were unable to receive any benefits under the insurance policies held by them only because they could not be hospitalized on account of dearth of medical infrastructure. It asked the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India to examine if claims in such cases could be considered by insurance companies. The next segment that we have is of Punjab and Haryana High Court. A single judge bench of the High Court has, in the case of Sonia and Nanda versus the state of Haryana and others, declared that the concept of live-in relationship may not be acceptable to all, but it cannot be said that such a relationship is an illegal one or that living together without the sanctity of marriage constitutes an offence. Now next we have the segment of Allahabad High Court. The High Court of Allahabad has rejected the anticipatory bail plea of a college professor from Firozabad in a nearly 3-month-old case accusing him of posting obscene content about Union Minister for Textiles and Women and Child Development Smriti Irani. Now our next segment is of Kerala High Court. The Kerala High Court has held in a matter that action of the state government in subclassifying the minorities by providing merit-cum-means scholarship of 80% to the Muslim community and 20% to the Latin Catholic Christians and converted Christians cannot be legally sustained. Now let's proceed and have a look at an update coming from the High Court of Calcutta. In an unprecedented move, a senior judge of the Calcutta High Court has written a letter to all judges of the High Court, including the acting Chief Justice, raising questions over the acting Chief Justice's intervention in the Narda sting case, in transferring the case to the High Court, and in staying the bail which was granted to the 4 TMC leaders by a CBI court. Now next we have the segment of Karnataka High Court. The Karnataka High Court has pulled up a city police commissioner for failing to register a case against BJP leaders in connection with a rally that was held in the city in January where COVID-19 protocols were not followed. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. A high-powered committee headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday appointed former Mumbai Police Chief Subodh Kumar Jaiswal as the new CBI director. The government of Rajasthan is planning to approach the top court to ask for a new policy that ensures uniform distribution and pricing of COVID-19 vaccines. This will be the second state to do so after West Bengal, which had on May 7 moved to top court for the very exact reason and demanded that states be given the vaccine free of cost. The Delhi police charge sheet, which is filed in connection with the case related to violence that took place at Red Fort on the day of Republic Day celebration, has alleged that there was a well-planned conspiracy to capture the Red Fort and convert it into a site for the farmers who were and still are agitating against the 3 farm laws. The crime branch of the Delhi police, which is investigating the case, has named 16 suspects in the charge sheet that was filed on May 17th in a Delhi court. The Jharkhand High Court recently, comprising of a single judge bench of Justice Anil Kumar Chaudhary, has observed in the case titled as Bishnu Deo Ram versus the State of Jharkhand through CBI that no presumption under Section 20 of Prevention of Corruption Act can be drawn in absence of the very essential ingredient of demand of bribe. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. The Supreme Court of Pakistan has returned a curative review petition filed by the Imran Khan-led government challenging the apex court's judgment on a plea to review the Justice Qazi Faiz Isa case. An Israeli court has postponed its decision on an appeal lodged by Palestinian families facing forced displacement from their homes in occupied East Jerusalem's Silwan district. That's all we have for this week. The link of all these news updates, they are made available in the description section for your kind consideration. Thank you for being with us.